This is the Orioles POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday. This Baltimore Orioles postcast coming to you live here on YouTube a little bit later than usual. 2-hour, 18-minute rain delay will do that for you. But you got a lot to celebrate tonight. The Baltimore Orioles with a series win over the Seattle Mariners with the final score tonight, 5-3. Took a long time, but well worth it. O's jumped out to a 5-0 lead in the first half of this game. Never looked back. Storms be darned. We stream this live to YouTube. As always, this is the Orioles Postcast. I'm Luke. I've been the host for 107 episodes now. If you're not on board yet, welcome. Join, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know your feedback on the show. Let me know also, if you're first time watching here on YouTube Live, go ahead in the comment section. Tell me your player of the game, where you're watching from. Did you sneak in some O's magic during work? Do all that while we discuss a lot of good things, a lot of good takeaways from this series win in the proverbial dog days of August. We're available on demand wherever you get shows. It's bonus content. You know how it is. The O's had struggled mightily with situational hitting for most of this year in moments that mattered. And the big takeaway today is how they were able to manufacture runs in different ways, not solely rely on the long ball. And we saw that come to fruition in the early innings against Logan Gilbert, and very excited to talk about that with you all tonight.
This is what you'll be talking about.
It seemed like they were at the bottom of these rankings for a long time. However, the Orioles entered today middle of the pack in baseball in runners in scoring position, batting average in particular, hitting 246, entering this game, which is 16th in baseball. Slugging with runners in scoring position for the O's, third best in baseball. Now, the caveat here is that comes with a much limited sample size. The O's have struggled to even get at-bats with runners in scoring position compared to some of the more elite teams in baseball. In fact, they have the fourth fewest ABs with runners in scoring position, only ahead of the Rockies, the Angels, and the Guardians. Not great company to keep. However, this is the second consecutive game where you could point to particular guys in the bottom half of the lineup who were able to shake things up. And that is the subject of tonight's turning point when the scoring started in the bottom of the fourth.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I really love what this team has been able to do. Logan Gilbert was a couple of starts ago. Logan Evans, 24-year-old right-hander, born in Ann Arbor, Michigan, went to Pitt, was a 12th round draft choice a couple of years ago by those Mariners. Bottom four, the fastball has been lacking for Evans quite a bit. And it's not his go-to pitch. He had been trying to finesse some breaking balls, some off-speed pitches in there against the Orioles. And bottom four starts off auspiciously for the O's offense. Jordan Westburg walks on 5 pitches. Gunnar Henderson, working in that bat, fouls out to the catcher. And then Ryan Mountcastle, who had only seen breaking balls in his first plate appearance, gets a sinker at 94. He rips it into left field, showing some good pull side power. Moves Jordan Westburg over to third base. He got runners at the corners with just one out. Kobe Mayo, who has been a shining light with runners in scoring position, hitting 290 with RISP and 2 home runs to boot, pops out to the second baseman, a fastball high at 95 that he just could not get on top of. So 2 outs, and you leave it to the bottom of the order. Kobe Mayo hitting 5th today behind Ryan Mountcastle. And so the bottom of the order went like this: Daniel Johnson, Jeremiah Jackson, and Dylan Carlson. All guys who did not factor into the O's outfield plans to start this season. 2 outs, Daniel Johnson gets into a 1-2 count. Lays off a curveball in the dirt that bounces away from the backup catcher, Mitch Garver. Jordan Westburg, with his plus speed, is able to score. And Evans crashing in on this play, trying to cover the plate and receive a throw. It was going to be late anyway. Evans initially knees Jordan Westberg in the left forearm. He's safe, by the way. Run scores. And then his hand, his right throwing hand, gets trapped underneath one of the cleats of Westberg. And in an ensuing mound visit and trainer visit, you could see on the Masson broadcast that he had kind of blood on his fingernail and had all this dirt on his forearm. So that right hand was caught underneath the spike of Jordan Westberg. And even more importantly, it's the first run of the game that gives the Orioles a 1-0 lead. Ryan Mountcastle, by the way, was off with the pitch. Initially was not given a stolen base. Now with the game book going final, he has. He advanced to second base and then on that play at the plate, moved over to third. So really heads up base running by Mountie. He moves in just 90 feet closer, in fact, 180 feet closer with 2 outs. Johnson then is able to work the walk. You got runners at the corners with 2 outs. And with Jeremiah Jackson at the plate, some expanding brain elite ball knowledge by Daniel Johnson. And this was low key, I think, the greatest contribution of the game because a 1-0 lead, a razor thin lead, is dangerous in baseball. Johnson breaks for second, and it's not the best jump. His speed is, uh, I don't, I wouldn't say unremarkable. Just we haven't seen it. We haven't seen him flash speed on the base paths, and he pulls up when Garver throws past the mound and it gets to second base. So Johnson intentionally puts himself in a rundown, signaling for Mountcastle to steal home, which he does. Initially, the infielder thrown over to first base, so that's one throw already in a rundown. You're in a pickle. Mountcastle is able to take that, get some momentum going towards home plate, and beats the throw there. The clean steal of home makes it 2-0. Ryan Mountcastle with heads up base running, and Daniel Johnson, of course, being fantastic. So he's at second base, and then Jeremiah Jackson got a good hit tool. Gets a high curveball, pokes it into shallow center field, makes it a 3-0 ball game. And that would be the end of the line for Logan Evans. 30 pitch inning, up to 70 on the day. And prior to that, the O's had not worked into deep counts or gotten much off of him. Fifth inning was fantastic as well. With the Mariners, looking forward to getting out of here okay. They brought on another right-hander, Carlos Vargas, 25 years old. And started out okay. But again, walks Jackson Holiday with 1 out, hits Jordan Westberg on a 94-mile-an-hour cutter in. Gunner's up in the count 0-1. Gets a sinker at 97 miles an hour off the plate, hits it down the left field line for a double to extend that lead to 4-0, 5 games in a row with an extra base hit for Gunner. And then the pouring rain starts, and you got this will they, won't they, start, stop the game. Ryan Mountcastle able to hit a sac fly to left field. Gunner scores, and that is how you got a 5-0 lead. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, and Rock Cabot reporting from Masson, Mountcastle is the 4th Oriole to steal home base twice in a season. Joins a couple others, including Davey Johnson and Don Buford in the 1970s. Very cool. 5-3 win coming up. We'll talk about the pitching real quick. And Tomo Sagano's team-leading 10th win. We'll also go over Dietrich Evans and Keegan Evans. Dietrich Evans and Cade Stroud. Keegan Aiken did pitch in this game. We don't need to talk about that. Some inspiring pitching performances there late and a lead that almost slipped away. This is the Baltimore Orioles postcast. You know what it is? I've just been getting calls out the wazoo today. Spam calls. I feel my phone vibrating. I get a little bit rattled. It is what it is, man. This show is brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth. That is a problem. And that's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface. You choose laptop or phone. does all the heavy lifting for you. You can link your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without dipping into Excel. Done a lot of Microsoft Excel the last couple of days. And again, it's all about clamping down on finances. We cannot have all the extra spending. We can't, you know, pay for subscriptions that much anymore. That's life. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code locked on MLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code locked on MLB. Time to fuel things up with our friends at 5 Hour Energy. One of the best. Transfusion's the new flavor. Grape, ginger, and lime. It's the favorite golf drink minus the alcohol. On some days, like today, I didn't have caffeine today. Sometimes you just need it. Probably could use it right now. I think that's why a lot of you on the YouTube stream are like, what is up with this guy? What is he doing? Why is he 11 minutes into the show and just getting into the ad copy? That's life. I don't have a favorite golf memory. I just like transfusion. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use my promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boosts you need to power through. Order transfusion flavored 5 Hour Energy shots today. Thanks to 5 Hour Energy for sponsoring the show.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
For the historic reasons, Ryan Mountcastle is our player of the game. Really got things going. He has a base hit, a run driven in on that sac fly, an elite steal of home for a run scored, and those 2 stolen bases, second and then home plate. Wonderful day for a guy coming off a hamstring injury, no? He's our player of the game. O's pitching, particularly in the later innings, did what they could with traffic. I think the constant theme today is bending and not breaking, with Tomo Sagano and then particularly Dietrich Ends there in the top of the ninth. There is something mysterious about the end of a baseball game. Many have tried and failed to solve it. Think of LaTroy Hawkins on the 2004 Chicago Cubs. Never figured it out. Might still be figuring it out, to be honest. But the ninth is just a different beast. Ask Keegan Aiken, ask anyone. And with Felix Bautista on the injured list, it is closer by committee. Dietrich Ends, who had a fantastic outing earlier in the series, did not start off that promising. Dominic Canzone singles on a cutter in. Mitch Garver gets a changeup low. He pokes it to center field on a 3-2 count. Good 2-strike approaches by both those Mariners. And J.P. Crawford gets a 4-seam fastball in. He flies out to right field. So there's one out, and you have potentially the game tying run up at the plate at this point. Cal Raleigh at the plate, pinch hitting. This is a big deal. And Cole Young, second baseman, not the high leverage time you want Raleigh in. Raleigh 0 for 8 going into this game in the series. And the Mariners, for their part, had been limited by O's pitching both in the Seattle series and now here. He walks to then load the bases with one out. Dylan Moore pinch runs as the trail runner Randy Arozarena up with the bases loaded. 1-1 count, gets a changeup outside, hits a ground ball to Jackson Holliday. Gunnar not playing traditional double play depth is shaded maybe a little bit more in the hole, is not there on time. Holliday has to take it to the bag himself, and Arozarena with his foot speed able to break up a potential game-ending double play. A run scores on the fielder's choice. It's a 5-3 ball game. But 2 outs in the inning. Josh Naylor, great trade deadline acquisition by the M's, up at the plate with a chance to tie. Gets a first pitch cutter, too juicy for him, rolls over on it, hits it to Jackson Holliday, and that is a ground out. Holliday walks it to first base himself, and that's the ball game. 5-3 your final. Saw some great stuff from Cade Stroud as well. Top of the 8th, 10-pitch inning, 7 strikes. Got Julio Rodriguez to line out to center field. Jorge Polanco flying out to shortstop. And then Eugenio Suarez, a cutter away, grounding out to Jordan Westberg, 6th consecutive outing by Cade Stroud. And Tomoyuki Sagano, earning his team-leading 10th win of the season. And unfortunately could not log the quality start as this game was called after 5 1/3. He had not allowed a run to score, but had a runner he was responsible for there in the top of the 6th. Um, uh, Worked with traffic those first couple of innings, but was able to get them to be off balance. The sweeper, particularly, got Julio Rodriguez there in the top of the 4th with a sweeper outside to fly out to Jeremiah Jackson there. His first strikeout was Eugenio Suarez looking sinker, 95 miles an hour there at the knees. Really good stuff. And top of the 5th as well. Gives up a ground rule double to Canzone on a cutter inside. Then on a 3-2 count, gets Mitch Garver to swing at a sweeper and miss, and was able to get out of that inning unscathed. Only real trouble there in the top of the 6th, and of course, the rain was starting to play a bit of a factor. 1 out, Josh Naylor singles to right with a splitter off the plate. Um, there was this weird interaction with the home plate umpire. With the rain coming down, Sagano struggling to get a grip on the ball, initially steps off the rubber for one disengagement. And again, he's locked in there the second time he takes the mound. He steps off again, and the home plate umpire, Austin Jones, calls an automatic ball for a either pitch clock violation or some fracture of the rules. Tony Mansolino comes out, starts jawing at Jones, the umpire, going to bat for his player and defending Sagano. And eventually there's a whole interaction where Julio Rodriguez at the plate steps out of the batter's box, and all this jawing for 90 seconds to 2 minutes is enough for that monsoon to come in and lead to the 2-hour, 18-minute rain delay. Never really understood uh, the interpretation of the rules there. Generally speaking, I know there are some sports leagues that you're not allowed to take back-to-back timeouts or call time in 2 sequences like that in a row, but very weird to see that with the pitch clock rules and the pace of play rules. But given the elements, it's just an aberration. Unfortunately, that's it for Tomo Sagano. 5 1/3. Right-hander Rico Garcia comes in and immediately gives up a 2-run bomb to Rodriguez, and initially made it 5-2. So that's it. The final line for Sagano, 5 1/3, 1 earned run on 3 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. That walk does not come back and bite him, and the O's improved to 11 games under 500. And they carry on here. We will wrap things up here on the Orioles postcast, looking ahead to Friday. That's tomorrow. Who we got? It's the Houston Astros. No starter announced as of going live here. It is currently 6:26 on the East Coast, and that might have been reported already. I wouldn't know. It's an 8:15 first pitch on MASN 2 at Houston in that airplane hangar of a ballpark. I think it's called Daikin Park now. Daikin, the air conditioning thing, used to be Minute Maid for a long time. No longer has Tal's Hill. It's irrelevant. No starter for the O's. Left-hander Framber Valdez, impending free agent Framber Valdez. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Has thrown a boatload of innings the last 3 years for the Houston Astros under Dusty Baker and others. Baker's been retired. 11-5 record, 2.97 ERA, top of the rotation guy. O's have their work cut out for them. Starting to see left-handers a little bit better. And Framber, okay, do you like Old Bay? I don't know. Final score, the Baltimore Orioles 5 and the Seattle Mariners 3. Series win. Enjoy this. Enjoy Ryan Mountcastle. Enjoy Tomoyuki Sagano. This was a great one. I'm going to go back to fielding spam calls. Good night. Stay safe. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow night.